2, 1. Okay, and we are live. So namaste, galactic family. Welcome back to the channel IndigoAngel. Come on into this sacred container today, the sacred Mother's Day container, as we have an amazing show planned for you guys. Essentially, we are going to be diving into the Lemurian gate systems in particular locations in the globe here today. It looks like we are going to be covering the gate systems of Kauai, Hawaii, and also the Bimini Islands, and potentially we might be even transversing into some areas on the grid locations in terms of Australia, India, Madagascar. That might just come up. I just felt that intuitively come through. And then potentially also looking at Bakhmut and Ukraine as well, as I'm feeling like some of these war codes are tying into this as well. Okay. So yeah, we have a lot of psychic and interdimensional introspection coming through on this beautiful Mother's Day. And so I just wanted to say happy Mother's Day to all of the divine feminines and all of the mothers watching. And Felix, how are you doing today?
Doing pretty good, Indy. Thank you so much for having me back on your channel again. It's lovely to be here. And yeah, it's definitely an interesting time to be alive with all these different things popping up in the world. Yeah, I'm doing good.
That's good. Yeah. Well, you were just telling me the energies in the UK a little bit. So maybe just fill me in on what's going over in the UK, because I'm
right.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're in 2 different places in the world. So everybody watching, I'm in Pensacola, Florida. Felix, you are in
Leeds, UK.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's the energies like over there? What's it like over there right now?
Really what I'm kind of like tuning into at the moment is a whole load of chaos post coronation. That's been kind of going off for quite some time now, where I've been seeing the collapse of certain structures, and I've been seeing attempted builds and hijacks within the grid systems. None of it particularly sustainable, to be honest, which is great. So there have been counter calibrations to kind of reconstruct and redirect flows and rebuild back to the organic divine grid systems. And really today and the past couple of days, what I've been feeling is a lot of opportunity to collapse out old, imbalanced generational trauma. So this has been coming really, really strongly to the forefront at the moment, where I'm recognizing ancestral lineages and patterns coming forwards to be transformed, and the mindset to be shifted into a pathway where it can be observed and then neutralized too. So it comes in a consistent flow, but it's being unaffecting of the person. I hold my hands up. I have been affected by it because, you know, it's not always as straightforward as people on the internet put it out as. It's definitely not as easy as everyone's like can portray it to be, which can leave you in a pile of tears on the floor, or you can, when you work through those, it really kind of elevates you into a space where you're learning and you can see your development and see your process. So that's kind of, I'm seeing the process at the moment.
Yeah. No, I don't doubt it. Like, it's like we're having, it's almost like a miniature pole shift almost in some ways, isn't it? Like we are bringing through and coordinating this new king energy, where we're shifting from a matriarchal monarchy to a patriarchal monarchy. So that's kind of, I think, vibrationally taking a toll in itself. But then there's a lot that's coming through with that. I mean, I think you sent me some clips of the coronation, and that the Grim Reaper was actually behind and overcasting and shadowing the energy of his coronation. And there's just like, and honestly, I mean, on YouTube in general, there's just been like a filtering of these like black casted shadows that are kind of coming through with this. So obviously it's kind of like a lower realm parallel timeline that almost seems like is just activating and running its codes in terms of programming, in terms of the dictatorship and absolute power. What I was seeing was the false king of tyranny implants were just like reinstalling and running through the grids with this and kind of reestablishing that trail of destruction. And the rape and pillage and the crown, and honestly, all of the wounding of the second cataclysm of Atlantis to rerun. So I've talked about this before on my channel, where they have abilities through particle accelerators and other beast machine mechanics that they can actually infiltrate the grid structures and the ley lines and the consciousness of humanity, whether it's through satellites, whether it's through lasers, whether it's through cell towers, whether it's through the black box or the black cube. But essentially, they're reprogramming humanity to enter into the encodement of the war of enslavement over mankind and of consciousness through these enactments, through these rituals. This is the satanic ritual act of the coronation, is it not? That's why we see the Grim Reaper coming through. This is the SRA.
Absolutely, yeah. It's so apt that you say that as well and bring that in about the crown, because what I've also been feeling through the eclipse season, everything became so expanded. All of the abilities are really heightened, and it brought on a whole new level of sentience. But then since post-lunar eclipse, I think that was on the 5th of May, and I believe that was when the coronation happened, or the 6th of May is when it happened. It was an attempt to get people to pledge allegiance to this man, where pledging your allegiance to another human being is completely distorted in and of itself, when we should be pledging allegiance to source and to ourselves as sovereign beings. It's an attempted takeover of the mind. So yeah, absolutely the false king of tyranny. But I noticed afterwards how contracted the bodies went through a process after this gateway, so to speak. So yeah, the whole of the structures were really controlled.
Even as you speak of this, I feel so much contention in my stomach.
Yeah.
I am feeling like just tension, anxiety. It starts to create this just, it's like if I wasn't aware of it on the little of subtlety energy that I am, I wouldn't even think about it. I wouldn't even think that, oh, I'm having this anxiety, I'm having it. I would just chalk it up to something else. But the fact that I'm so sensitive to everything that you're saying, like I can feel all in my body just like just starting to tighten. Yeah.
And it's also really interesting as well, because what I've felt massively is entrapment lately. Since this whole new false king came in, it's this entrapment that's kind of coming over the UK. And it's this, it kind of filters out in the collective level first. And then when we work through it on our own individual level, we kind of start drawing up all of these different areas of entrapment that we see within our own lives. We work through them, and then we do that to kind of level ourselves up and break free. So I feel like that's really strongly interplaying through the collective levels. And again, with your belly being contracted, so it's kind of a similar situation there. But yeah, with the minds, I feel like this whole thing was a big attempted takeover of the crown once again.
It's definitely an activation within the Orion Stargate on the Earth. What I was actually seeing last night, as I just kind of tuned into it psychically, it's crazy, but I was seeing the totality of the Metatronic implant. And I was seeing it in the Orion Stargate system. I was seeing Metatron in Mentaka. Literally, seeing his energy in the Mentakan system, and that's where he resides. It was almost as if he was in Mentaka, and he was overcasting this shadow down onto the brotherhoods of mankind. And it was like he was casting the shadow over the Elohim. He was casting it down over upon Enoch, which is like they were one in the same projection. And then he was casting it down to other factions of the brotherhoods of it's like serpent brotherhoods, even dragon brotherhoods. And it was like they were working through even the white dragon lineages.
Wow.
I know, right? And
yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Kind of lost the words there, babe.
Let me hit you with something heavy really quick.
Yeah.
It was, I don't know. It was like everything in terms of what the masculine principles and properties in terms of what is upholding masculine ascension in terms of the higher realms, what is holding and encasing. The Elohim are an example of a higher ascended spiritual body around the earth, and they created this through the Mentakan system. It was through Orion in which they projected the Elohim onto earth, is what I kept seeing. And yeah. I don't know where to go with it exactly, other than I feel really tuned into this entire network of the masculine implant system right now. So it's like I've tapped into a resource that is beyond me.
Wow.
It's beyond me in a lot of ways, because here I am holding like a feminine, imprint of that. I do have a masculine quality, but at the same time, I'm just tapping into energetic consciousnesses, intelligence fields that are in like control structures, basically.
Yeah, no, definitely. I see that. Wow. I'm really looking forward to doing that implant removal.
Right. It brings us to the implants though. So I actually wanted to discuss this with you a little bit, because as I had talked about on my channel on the last video that I did with bringing forward the implant of the masculine implants, I had actually gave you a shout out, because you essentially are helping me with a lot of this on a lot of levels. Like, I mean, I can't deny that, like, that I talk to you about all this stuff, right? Like I converse this with you. We go back and forth. Everyone watching should know, like, Felix is one of my really, really dear friends. And we have been identifying this essentially since Rome, and even before that.
Oh yeah, definitely. It all started through Rome massively, with all that really heightened sexual energy that was there, that heavily imbalanced, but it was also applied to the service to self, the warrior, distorted warrior templates, the gardens of Tivoli. Oh my God.
Yes.
Yeah, it was super strong there.
I think the main implant that you had opened me up to, honestly, was the emotional implant. The one that is essentially blocking the heart, that's blocking like the ears and the eyes, and just disallowing the masculine from feeling their emotions. I think we even connected it down to the prostate.
Yeah, I'm also now seeing that it's also connected into the thymus, is it? That's the gland within the heart, or by the heart. That's I can see that now. Oh my God. Okay. Yeah, I'm looking into that now, and it's coming through in like a tone of aquamarine. And as I'm paying attention to it, I can see a secretion of like zigzaggy black vibration, but also goo at the same time. It's like something artificial, something maybe not artificial. It's definitely synthetic, but it's not. Doesn't feel good. And I can see that. Yeah, sorry, I can just see that moving and going through the bit of the white of the eye. It's layering like a filter through the white of the eye, as if like the eye had been dissected. I can see that sitting through that.
Yeah, because it almost feels like these seals with the male implants are super third dimensional. So when we talk about spirituality and we talk about the third eye and seeing introspectively, seeing through the intuition, seeing through the interdimensional intuition, it's just not there. It's not there with these implants. It's almost like they are casted forward in terms of the third dimensional spectrum. So they actually shield or veil the actual visual eyes. They actually impede upon the sight itself. That's what I keep seeing, is that they are a part of the actual vision and the way that one interprets just the actual 3D reality. And it's like many veils within just how they're going to see that. And then again, impeding upon the auditory as well, with disallowing auditory tones. Because here's one of the things that I've gathered in terms of the Kauai and Ioni massacre, is that the Ascended Masters from this time, which me and you both are descendants of this. Okay, and probably many watching right now are also, because they're called to this like soul calling.
Yeah,
there's a reason why they're like connected to this information. It's because they feel on a soul level like, yeah, I remember that too. Like, I don't know how, I don't know where, but somewhere I feel it really deep inside. Like, I feel it. They are descendants of these ascended master lines. It's because they were masters in sound healing frequency. This is what it's all about, actually, at the end of the day. And the warfare is over sound healing. The warfare may be over light technology, but at the end of the day, what the original ascended masters were doing in Kauai and Hawaii, which is where we're going to go in terms of our remote view today into the grids, they were sound healing through these gate systems. It was about sound.
Yeah, absolutely. Because the sounds, what they need to open these gate systems, they use different harmonics and different frequencies to actually unlock the stargates and unlock certain access points to different celestial bodies and celestial information as well. So yeah, absolutely. I'm also seeing this implant coming into the throat as well. And that, when you said that about the sound vibrational healing, it's almost like a distortion coming in through the voice box, which is then mismatching the processing systems and the regulation within the understanding of the sound waves. So it's all kind of interlinked. I feel like it's coming from so many different facets within this kind of implant. It's targeting so many different, I don't even know what the word would be. It's coming in from so many different angles and attacking it from all different planes, where it's almost weaponizing one side against the other. Right.
Yeah, it's definitely very entangled in terms of the disillusion, the discontentment, the veils, and also just like mental reconfigurations of distortions, mental distortions of this, because it's playing upon the masculine and the feminine sexual bodies, right? So it's opposing each other in the feminine and the masculine energies. It's opposing each other to create warfare here.
Yeah,
it's definitely like a warfare templating that's just sitting between masculine and feminine union.
Absolutely.
It's like a cyclone or a hurricane of shit that just disorientates the mind. I'm sorry. Disorients the mind. Okay, the mind feels, and it's like, that's almost a cyclone sitting in a preservation or an encapsulated field, 22,000 YA, or what I've been getting is 70,000 YA years ago.
Yeah, I mean, when I was like so deep in vision when you said that and brought that in, and I just saw this massive tornado shitstorm coming into the vision, I was like, oh, yay. But I can also see that this links so deep into the Temple of Divine Union as well, and how the distortion sits within that too, and where it's kind of running collapse within the temple. I also feel that it's a weaponization on the self. So one's own thoughts and one's own hearing is being weaponized against each other. So it's creating that kind of warrior war templating where this information is so imbalanced, or the processing is so imbalanced, that it's unable to kind of recognize one's own truth within it as well. That's really interesting. But what I'm also picking up as well, it's so important to work with developing the 0 point field. and integrating that 0 point field to, or it will accelerate that level of 0 point field within the release of the implant as well. So it's both, it does both. It's like a catalyst for the 0 point field, and also it's a need to develop that to really access and pull this out as much as possible. It's very interesting. And what I'm also seeing there is like metal, fake gold geometry that's kind of sitting on top of this as a seal. It looks almost like a mandala, a golden sun mandala made of metal, but the petals of it can fold. And that's really feels like it's running an electric current through it that is sort of an access point or an inhibitor to amplify the distortion through the mind wave fields and to amplify distortion through the processing system. This is heavily interlinked into bipolar disorder as well.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
really, because
Wow.
it's so
It's like the
pushing.
bipolar sensitivity is picking up on the imbalances and the fragmentations of the masculine and the feminine templating.
Yeah.
We have a lot of comments coming in right now, honestly.
Oh,
with
really?
this.
Do you
Yeah.
want to share it with me?
Yeah,
Let's
I
have
can
a look.
share. Yeah, I'll share.
Sounds
I will
good.
share with you, Felix.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Hey, everybody.
Yeah. Hey, everyone. Come on into the room, guys. We have a crazy show for you today. We're going to be obviously interdimensionally and multidimensionally jumping around in terms of topic, conceptions, perceptions. You got to be on this next wave, this next level to really kind of pick up and kind of jump with us between where we're going. And most of you are, guys, and I appreciate that so much. But yeah, just okay. So let's see. Close encounters of the fifth kind. We are approaching a coherent state, entering a phase shift of being higher consciousness and expansion. I've been hit so hard with energies and upgrades. I actually had a hard time integrating it all at once. Like there's garbage, ones you
Angel
don't
Wings,
need.
I know that one. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, if we all connect barefoot in the earth and we chant mantras collectively, we can all download higher knowledge. That's true. You know, what I've been kind of picking up on, and this is why I'm really feeling like Kauai, Hawaii is going to be a very important place for us to go next, Felix.
Yeah.
I don't know if you feel open to taking a trip down to Kauai, but
I don't think I want to go. No, I'm joking.
No? Okay.
Of course I want to go there, yeah.
But this is where the original massacres took place on the earth. They took place in Kauai. This is where the whole shebang and the shit show went down. It's like, why are we not? Why are we not targeting this place? Why are we not?
Yeah, I'm definitely down for going there. Let's get on it after Florida. After
I know we have a lot of places on the list.
We've got a lot of places we need to go to.
Speaking of Washington, D.C., guys, this trip is still open. We still are inviting our soul family to come into this mission. Right now we're kind of at a very small soul group we don't want to be like a huge group, but we definitely want to be a small and unified group. But we are looking for those that are ready to kind of join the mission and to come into DC. Felix, can you speak to DC at all a little bit? I'm going to pull up the screen share here, as I thought I had it pulled up, the Gridworker mission that we're doing here.
Right. Yeah. It's going to be really, really amazing, this trip. Well, there's so much that's going on over there. And as you can see, what's going on through the political arena at the moment in the US, it's very important to recognize and note that there are multiple density locks and seal systems that really anchor and breed heavy, hard, uncomfortable energies that's there to weaponize people. And really, like we did in Rome, like I did in City of London, we went to release and remove these things, which work to elevate the frequency enough to allow, I want to say allow the earth to breathe, but it did so much more than that. It was a releasing of all of this stagnation, which then it lifts layers of the density from the mental field, so the mind can expand. It's so that people can come into this level of new awareness. And not only that, It's a real case of kind of shifting the density
Well,
from
not only the
these.
mind wave fields on an individual level, but it's also on a collective level. This is happening
Oh, yeah.
cellularly in the quantum fields within the grid structures around the ley lines. So it's like we come in, here's the thing, we come in as light. We're coming in as light bearers, even. I'll say that word. I know I almost feel like that's like a no-no word, light bearers, but like we come in as light. And the darkness, actually, we gravitate towards the darkness. We gravitate towards the darkness. And as we gravitate towards that, we are shining light into that. And then we are allowing that to come up and to expose itself and to integrate back into wholeness. We're taking the combusted and fractalized pieces of this fallen energy, and we're transforming it back into its wholeness, back into its ultimate configuration, into transformation, into becoming one with source again. And so that's kind of what we're doing. I feel like that's what we're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's also, what it's also doing is teaching people how to do this boots on the ground kind of stuff. It's getting people comfortable and ready to be able to take on these missions in their own time and doing it. That's why we do the Gridwork sessions online. We do them in physical as well. It's so important to learn how to manage the energy of the planet as well, because it teaches you how to deal with your own. So it's really a case of working in real time with a subject that's willing and able and accepting of the healing, that you can take this kind of information off and integrate and work it on yourself. And then potentially, if you wish to do so, is also read your client's energy that way.
And DC, this is going to be super transformational. I mean, this is a major reversal Stargate correction for 2023. I do feel like 2023 is the rise of the grid workers. Look at you, Felix, here in this video. You're wearing the sheep blanket.
I was
and
wearing the
flower.
sheep. Yeah.
You know what? That sheep blanket got left behind in Rome.
Really?
Have not seen that sheep blanket. I'm really sad about that.
Oh,
Really
no.
sad. Yeah. I need another one. I'm going to get another one before we get to DC.
Yeah.
But essentially, we're going to be reversing, collapsing down, and transmuting child trafficking, human trafficking, Comet Ping Pong. Can you explain what Comet Ping Pong is?
Yeah, Comet Ping Pong was the kind of one of the main locations of the Pizzagate scandal. And within this space, it was run by a person called James Alefantis. And he was named one of the most influential people in DC over a pizza place that had ping pong.
Comet.
Yeah. So a pizza place with ping pong tables downstairs. And what they also had on the walls was quite horrific artwork of children. And then to follow on from that, there were really disturbing imagery on the Instagram handle. And you can actually find out all of this information on the Fall of Cabal videos by Janet Ossenbard. It's very interesting to kind of look. I'm sure everybody who's watching these is aware of this already. Maybe we can link it down below to these videos. She's done a fantastic job in exposure. So
Comet Ping Pong is different from the Pizzagate scandal, or are they kind of linked together?
It's kind of linked together because it's still a pizza place. But this is one of the hubs, so to speak, of the child trafficking and abuse locations. Well,
I had been talking about that with at least some of the largest US cases ever recorded in terms of what went down in Hawaii. And this is why we keep connecting Hawaii to DC. It's so interesting that this, keeps coming up, this connection, this grid connection, Hawaii to DC, Hawaii to DC.
Yeah.
It's because it's where a lot of these undercover child trafficking, ping pong, Pizzagate scandals in terms of the islands, Bimini Islands, etc. period, going off into, I mean, this is all where this actually filters in.
It really does.
So we're hitting the core. We are hitting the core with this in terms of energy. And that's why we're being guided so divinely to restoration here in these locations.
Absolutely, yeah.
In terms of the corrections and reversals to be made in DC, though, we have density locks and seal systems, which clearly we've identified many, many layers of these, whether it's upon the feminine or the masculine implant system, but also upon the just the global collective in terms of genetics, right? Anunnaki and Draco. And then also the obelisk network, which we've identified through the male implant system, linking into the dawn of time emotional seal, and also the king of tyranny false implant seal, as well in terms of dictatorship and patriarchal domination.
Yeah.
And then also just the detrimental aspects of AI and surveillance tracking, and black tesseract cube technology and collapse, all Saturn matrices and labyrinths, and parasitic reptilian invader energy, right? Like casting out the old dark one energy. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so much there. Really, really, really is. Needs to come out. I'm really looking forward to this Queen Bee and the hive mind collapse as well, or restore even. I'm finding that very interesting at the moment because I'm seeing like hexagonal geometry everywhere at the moment. And this is also templating that's on the earth. So I've linked this into Scotland at the moment. Into Edinburgh. I'm seeing a lot of hexagonal architecture there. And there is also that Exmouth in Australia, the planetary branding that we did last time in Australia, that's also hexagonal.
I've been seeing a ton of the hexagonal imagery as well.
Yeah,
I've been
that's
seeing
good.
it like crazy, like crazy. And it's interesting that it's Mother's Day today. So again, happy Mother's Day to all the moms watching. We just want to send you guys lots of love. But I do feel like this is very symbolic in why we are talking about this today, Felix. Like we are going to dive into the grids, just so you guys watching know, we are going to get into the grids here. There's just so much information we had to kind of recap. Did it not feel like that coming in?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, there's so much going on right now. It's like, it's almost hard to like keep on top of everything and say everything because there's just so much.
Well, I think we're releasing a lot of the feminine wounding from the Ioni massacre, but now we have this masculine component that's coming in, and it's like, no, we're equally releasing these woundings from the Ioni massacre, which was like this original, again, division of the masculine and feminine energy, and it's releasing more memory of the crystal technology of the Holocaust that took place from Kauai. Again, releasing this into DC. It's a retrieval of the Yana bodies. We're retrieving our yanas. We're retrieving our ascended master bodies right now. We're going through this transformation. And then also on top of that, we're discovering the technologies of the four faces of man, which is what we're discovering, what we were doing in the Ioni massacre before this, prior to the fall, prior to the invasions, that we were trying to counter that attack. We were discovering our technologies, the sound healing, the actual rising up of the four pillars of man, where we actually activated the architecture of the God technology and the 12 base imprint encodement to run these pulse rhythms into the earth, into the gate systems, into the rod and staff, into where we could reverse that energy. So that feels like that's coming up. It feels like what's also coming up is also restoring the twin matrix.
Oh my God.
Did you just say the rod?
Yeah, you just said the rod and staff. This is something that came up in the Bimini Islands as well, the restoring of the rod and staff. So that's very interesting that you brought that up there. It was also a connection to, again, the hexagonal turtle templating.
Turtle templating, Island of the Turtle, North America. That's been coming up too.
Okay, interesting. So that linked in for me with the what was it? Let me just have a look at my writings. So the turtle shell worked into a lattice grid of hexagonal information, which then carried forwards with Lemurian Atlantean civilization code genetics within the landmass. And that opened up into a basically the information of these ancient tribes coming forwards and bridging across this horizontal, vertical axis. I know that I did that the wrong way around. And then the diagonal generational ancestral lineages of those ones too. So that was really interesting to me, how that kind of came forward. There was something else as well. I know that we've got the purification thing coming up soon. When is that? The purification thing for
I
DC?
believe it's May 29th. So
Is it?
those that are coming with us to DC will be doing the group purification session. And I think it's the 29th. So yeah, the reason why that's so important is because we really need to purify ourselves on much deeper levels before going into reversal gate system energies. I think we full steam went on into that, Felix, into Rome, and we didn't process that so much, right? We just like, we're warriors, we're just going in, we don't care.
Yeah.
We're just gonna battle it out. But then we realized when we got there, like how important
it was. Oh my God,
that needed to that was a definite.
Yeah, it was real strong. Definitely a learning curve that was. So yeah,
that's the beauty in all of it, right? It's the beauty in all of it. We get to learn through our experiences. And that makes us stronger and able to share more with others. So it's really cool that we get to learn that, I mean, hey, that's how I learn. Honestly, I've always been like that my entire life. Like, I don't always necessarily want to be told how to do things. I want to learn by exploding through the system myself and just figuring it out. Like, that's the joy, I think, in developing the soul and the spirit body.
Yeah, absolutely. Experiential learning is really the way forwards, because then you get the full grasp of what you're doing, as horrifying as it can be at times. But you really learn in that moment that there's nothing really to be that afraid of.
I want to say too, I'm sorry, I'm not meaning to cut you off. Go ahead, finish your sentence.
I was just about to say, the whole purification. I feel like I've been in purification for this DC trip for about 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks already. It's just been so strong, and all of this kind of working up and collapsing has been so intense over the past week or so that it really looks like I'm being shown where it's all releasing from now to prepare for this trip. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
There's so much that we go through on a soul level when we prepare for these things, isn't there? It's like many different layers of transformation and realization that happen for us on a personal level, and it's because we're being refined into these diamond architectures. We are being like, whatever we were carrying on a human level in terms of our limitations, in terms of our implants, right? I go back to that because I'm going back to the hedonistic implant, that one, right? That one for me, again, collapsing more of that down. It's like that's being refined, and it's being cultivated into this more refined and diamond architecture, so that way we could implement the true codes. Because as we walk in this soul union with the divine and the highest emanation of this balanced spirituality within us, connected to feminine Christ and feminine Sophia. Sophia.
Yes, sorry.
We have to refine our energy bodies back into that structure, because we live in this third dimensional plane where we can be configured. We can be reconfigured. We can be pulled. We can be dynamically altered and shaped to run through the distortions. Right? Because we're not of this world. To do these missions, then we have to be redefined to sink back into the embeddedness of that true structure of the DNA, and kind of collapse down everything that's not serving, and then we get back into redefinement of the galactic alignment.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. And it's also what you're doing as well is you're elevating yourself to be in a specific level of vibration to bring that code infrastructure back into the land, to bring your further kind of your more extended vibration into this space. Now, what is much further behind, it brings almost like an even playing field, and bringing it almost back to a kind of level standpoint to where it needs to get to. So yeah, that's exactly. It's really interesting. Yeah.
Okay, so maybe we should go back into the grids. Do you want to, should we just get
Mhm.
started on this? Okay.
Yeah, let's do it.
So this is the map that I have up. It's my crazy Stargate map. And
Wow, this is cool.
it's a little wild today.
Yeah.
But I did centralize and focus on Hawaii. I did take a second to kind of just, so these lines here, these are unfinished charting that I have.
Okay.
But I did that because I wanted to see where the lines of Kauai, Hawaii actually extended across the grids. And clearly it extends to the Pyramid of the Sun in Teotihuacan. It extends into the plumbed serpent feathered serpent sacred site in Tinam, Yucatan, Mexico. It also goes across Cuba. It goes across to Mauritania, the Eye of Sahara.
Ooh, okay.
I feel like this is relevant. This is so relevant, and also runs through the Kaaba, Mecca, the occult Stargate. Can you believe Kauai, Hawaii hits all these points? Can you believe that?
Well,
that to me is just,
that's definitely something, isn't it?
Deep. Yeah.
Yeah. What is this big red and green thing?
This thing?
Yeah.
This is the just like the outer layer of the volcanic network that surrounds the Pacific region. And the what are they called? The tectonic plates.
Okay.
Tectonic plates where they merge.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
So yeah. We're going to kind of anchor down in then to remote view some aspects of the land in terms of Kauai, Hawaii. Felix, are you feeling called to set some protections here for us today as we kind of come down into those?
Yeah, let's go right for it. Immediately what I'm seeing is multiple shields coming in, and I can see them flash. They're going from white to pink to diamond. Oh my God, okay. Ania teraz matburia góra osunie me tie tereszny siemnia a jak raszna asinia torem namo otburia toreszno siato nasnatia. I'm also seeing a big like a blue to aquamarine sphere coming down and merging through the vertical pillar, coming down through the body, expanding all around. Vortexual white spins raise from the feet all the way up, purifying through the torus. Those shields were coming in signs of 3, which then flashed and went to 144. Okay. We're very much dealing with the 144,000 templating here today. And I felt that like since I saw the encoding coming forwards with the Lemurian.
And I'll be honest with you, I felt it last night.
Did you?
Yeah, I did. I was I felt it through the divine father principle, the divine cosmic masculine like father energy. Again, as I was like astral traveling last night and connecting into the Metatronic systems into Mentaka, I kept seeing the 144 flash.
Brilliant. Okay, what I'm also seeing here is like you know, like a chemistry symbol when they build those little chemistry signs. I'm seeing a chemical composition. I don't know what it is, but it's all hexagonal. It's a hexagonal templating.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm seeing all of this. It feels like an alchemical kind of something to do with the biochemistry that's working to illuminate. It feels like an alchemical update and transference. My whole body's starting to go like really expanded right now, and a whole lot of jibber jabber going on through it.
No, but I'm seeing like rings around you. I'm seeing the 6 spheres of the Elohim. Okay. And they're lighting up and activating all around you. And then they're just showing me honestly, it's bleeding into the icosahedron structures of the landmass of Kauai and Hawaii as well.
Mm,
It's of the world, it's of the universal matrix. I'm seeing it's
yeah,
going Andromedan, it's going into the Paladorian, it's going into the it's running into the war codes of the Armageddon, but it's also running into the Amarea. And
interesting.
but it's showing me now a connection into the rainbow waterfall networks of Kauai.
Okay, that's really
It's like,
interesting. So I'm also seeing the octahedron as well. And I'm seeing it in its 3D, thank you, 3D aspect to it of itself that's building in as a crystal geometry network. So this was also okay, so again, when you're saying that about the source angelic, the Elohai spheres, the Elohim spheres, around this network, there is also the source angelic coming in, and the founders or the founder races coming in as a bridge point to the tribal body, which is working through as an activation within this alchemical transference of the, I mean, it's so hot right now, like this is ridiculous.
Yeah, it is ridiculous. Because I'm getting all this contention energy coming in around the Melchizedek Syrian founder races, the brotherhoods.
Yeah.
It's like contention fields of disillusion and disarrangement in terms of what is plugging it into the organic systems. It's like something is coming in as an invader force to extract from the Melchizedek lines.
Okay, interesting. Would that have to do with the data constipulation of the Lemurian code genetics? They want to harvest that. They want to take that.
Yeah.
Oh,
No,
okay,
most
interesting.
definitely.
Yeah, so yeah, okay, I'm seeing silver swords spin with the points going down up to face the sky, and they're coming all around. At the moment, I'm getting a lot of anxiety lifting to release here, and it's that battle cry almost of sovereignty. And all of my back, all of the muscles and spinal joints have just started to like become very painful, like the very backside of the heart, as this anxiety is upping and leaving at the moment.
Yeah. This is really, really tight. This is something that's like compacted around the islands even of Hawaii.
Yeah, big time.
It's just like contention fields within the water, contention fields within the auric bodies of the land, contention within the internal lower parallel timelines and dimensions that are integrating the strife of the negative brotherhood networks that are infiltrating like communities on an actual like deeper level of crime. And I'm getting like drugs and warfare and poverty, and just like degradation of women and children. That it's like it's bleeding into so many different pockets or levels. It's going into the reality, into the spheres, into the worlds, into the realms, into the actual playing fields of 3D.
Right. So what I'm seeing is as these swords come up, I'm seeing a conical vortexual energy coming up from the earth and coming down from the heavens in white. And then I'm seeing the sun illuminate through the center point of these spirals, these vortexes, and then the chemical composition of all of these hexagonal imprints, these hexagonal chemical patterns coming in through the center point of this. And I'm seeing it illuminate in gold, and I'm hearing the harmonics of the angels sing. And these frequency bands are opening up the gate systems to Lemuria. And also, not Lemuria, sorry, it's connecting into the higher harmonic universes, which is then opening and expanding through the event horizon and through the horizontal line. My whole arms are just being pushed way, way, way out to the sides at the moment. And I'm just feeling like I'm being held in a, not a crucified position, but like a vertical horizontal axis correction, which is the elevation and the correction to the vertical pillar and staff and rod.
Yeah. And then I'm getting that the warfare is over the staff and rod.
Okay. So as I'm looking,
That's where everything's coming from, is from the staff and rod. Everything is
yeah.
coming from the king's sepulcher, the king's curse, the king's crown, the monarchy, like everything is worldwide coming down through this monarchy seal. But then also contention around the actual rod and staff. And then I'm seeing like an interlay or an overlay of an artificial running templating of that over the true energies. Like it's like there's a true one, and then there's like an overlay within the Earth's body, and that this is an access point to it.
Okay, brilliant.
That we can actually access it here through this island system.
Right, okay.
This is where we can go straight into the staff, and this is why the warfare is over it.
Right, okay. So what I'm seeing as well here is a very sinister looking cobra that was coming through as you were talking about the two variations of the staff and rod, or the polarized realities of that. And then what I'm also seeing now is this big white diamond crystal lotus flower that's coming in right into the center point of the pivot point to the staff and rod. And just feeling that transfer, elevating. My whole neck has just started to correct and crack all the way down through the cranial sacrum, all the way down through the spine. I'm getting tension lift and release through the shoulder joints, and particularly through the back side of the solar plexus on the right, which is now expanding and opening through the front, the third eye is releasing. Oh my God. And what I can see is the color tones, the crystal tones of this white diamond lotus flower building into the staff and rod. It's a purification.
Okay.
Purification of what looks like a rotting decay imprint, reversal within that. So what would be the Leviathan and is it the behemoth? Oh yeah, the anti-staff and rod. Does that make sense? Okay, right.
How do we clear that?
Well, this is the lotus flower coming in to do that now. That white diamond lotus flower is coming in and blending into all of these areas of decay and rot and rebuilding the true organic structure.
This seems to me one of the main seals on the gate system here. So I'm seeing that there's multiple seals on the gate system here. It's one of the most sealed gate systems because of the power that it holds. So it's creating these disillusion realms, these disillusion seals, these disillusion worlds of suffering that are blocking the true energetic nature, because this gate system has the ability to correct the entire reversal system of the world.
Wow.
So all contention on this gate system is the most sealed.
Wow. Okay. So as you were saying that, I was also seeing multiple geometries coming in. I think maybe like 3 or 4 that was coming down through this vertical pillar and then going into the core of the Earth, into the solar core of the Earth body, which then emanates and eliminates a regenesis code structure through the Earth body core into the heat of it. Or it looks like the sun inside the Earth, to be honest, which is shifting the geometries into a new pattern, into a new formation. And at the same time, I'm also seeing the like almost like a matrix field, like a coding, a binary system that's running through. It's not a binary system, it's a number sequence field that seems to be reprogramming the staff and rod back to its organics. Because I'm also seeing that connect right the way down and into the Earth body.
Felix, I want to guide you to keep reading this gate system. I am going to I just have to tune out for just a second.
Okay, no worries.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
because honestly, I have to pee really, really bad. I'm not gonna lie. I'm just gonna put that out there for everyone watching. I have to
Well,
pee. I have to run. This is super important. Just keep reading this
well,
gate system. I'll be
thank
right
you so
back.
much for sharing
Okay.
that. Yeah.
I love you.
I love
Okay.
you too.
Be right back.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, I love that. It's like it could have just been done very quietly, but I just love it. Okay, yeah. So what I can see is this whole repatterning of this stuff. I'm getting all through the right side of the body, so much heat coming up. And as I'm looking to my own body within this, what's happening here is layers of fragmented gray density is beginning to break away. It's like a collapsing of the old to birth into the new, and a reconfiguration, a restructuring of what has kind of attached itself to the body, and breaking that away. Okay, this is very interesting. So what I'm also seeing now are these big, like an antique gold and emerald gate system that's opening up right in front of me. And I can just start seeing these gates open, and this vast platinum to yellow light coming through the doors, which is opening up the...
Okay, I'm back.
Ah, she's back. Okay,
I'm back.
right.
Okay,
Where I
thank
got
you.
to was basically I felt like half of my body just sort of crumble away, or what was kind of stuck within that as this update was running through there. The my own body started to dissolve and release. And then at the same time, I'm seeing this antique gold and emerald gateway open. And then as the doors open, I'm seeing all of this platinum yellow rays of light, sunlight coming through and illuminating the pathway.
Okay.
And I can feel this open as a transference field.
No, as you're saying that, I have some things coming in as well.
Okay.
I'm seeing, well, lots of, like, it's like I'm getting a lot of images at one time, so it's actually really hard to decode. But the first thing that I'm seeing come in is the whale spirits. So I'm seeing around the islands, I'm seeing that there's like not only the pure spirits of the whales, but that within the islands, there's actually locations where they have dead whale graveyards. Okay, and these graveyards are keepers of both knowledge of life and death. Okay, and this is really, really important for the world in terms of the encoding that's running through these gate systems, is because it must be the knowledge of both life and death simultaneously. That's just the message that I keep getting. And then even as I was like filtering through this last night, I was seeing myself through the processes of both life and death simultaneously in the living, and how I was simultaneously experiencing death and simultaneously experiencing life, and that this was coming in through this system, and that the knowledge and then the will energy activated and then showed me the graveyards.
Wow.
And then it was also showing me how the whales are very, very important to this entirety of this matrix in which upholds the world, that they hold all of the history of the earth. So everything that's ever happened on this earth has been recorded in whale consciousness.
Absolutely. And they are the ones that create the grid structures as well.
Wisdom holders, keepers of history. They hold the importance of family. And then this is another aspect of what has been lost. So it's like as the contention of the Elohai warfare falls away, what comes back in is the loss of family and the importance of family and how we've lost all of that. That all contention has come between warfare lines of the family. So we've lost the mother, we've lost the father, we've lost the siblings, we've lost the cousins, we've lost everything. And I don't know, that feels super deep. That feels super deep for me. That feels radioactively in the gut. It's that this is what, on a level of deconstruction of the globe and of the energetic networks of the world, is where it's parasitically invading in terms of the reptilian brain cortex to keep deteriorating humanity's consciousness.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, one of the things within the playbook, the negative playbook, is to take apart the family structure, isn't it? And that would be to have governmental parents and get your children from the government. That was one of the plans, which is not going to happen. But yeah, so I understand that.
Yeah. I know I just got real sentimental there, but it came in because the whale energy is like that. It's like real communicative, it's real emotional, it's real spiritual, it's real sensitive. And again, when you said Turtle Island, that just activated this like Earth children force to unite in order to survive. And then I started to see the prophecy. I started to see the projection of the future unfold, and it was almost as if Mu, the continent of Mu, was meant to return again. It was meant to come back. That this is why, almost on a soul level, I'm so crazily dedicated to reinstalling the healing technologies of Lemuria, is because Mu is meant to come back. Mu is meant to resurface, that there will be a rising up again of crystal Mu lands as water recedes, that it's a part of the transformation of the new earth body, that some of these lands will go under and some of them will come back up, and then Mu will resurface again. And when this happens, it will be such a catastrophe on the earth. It will feel like a Revelations. But what's happening is it will force the children of the earth to unite in order to survive.
Sorry,
so I'm picking up on this through these land codes here. That these islands hold the prophecy of the return of the motherlands.
Yeah, no, I get that. Sorry, I got a little bit distracted. I just turned my phone on and saw your message about we. And I realized, I was like, oh my God, I would have been like, yeah, go for it. Had I known.
Hey guys, everyone watching, sorry, I had to take a little break. It's just life. That's just how it is. I had been chugging water all morning. I was trying to run some lemon through my system and kind of clear everything out. So yeah, it was to a point I couldn't take it anymore. No, I am sorry, everyone watching.
I was like, because I had my phone turned off, and then I was like, oh, actually, this is what this was all about.
I was trying to tell you secretly.
I know, and I was like, I just was not getting it whatsoever. I turned my phone off, and then even afterwards you left, I was like, oh yeah, she could have said that a bit quieter. And then I was
trying to do it so that you would just pick up on it and just keep running the show without anyone noticing. But hey, everyone, it's all right. That's, you know what, this is live, so
we're still in Mercury retrograde, so communications and technicalities are going to be a little bit difficult at the moment, but
that's right.
You know, here we go.
Sometimes here's a lesson. If you really need something, just say it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I just had a vision come in.
Okay. Tell us what that vision is.
I just seen, no. I just seen the harp of Lyra. Okay. I just seen the harp of Lyra in the Lyran system. And it was formed from whale bones.
Okay.
So it was all of this sound energy, all of this sonar energy. It's a technology they're trying to gift us through the ancient healing technologies of Kauai, that we can, as humans, we can utilize the sonar and we can actually predict the direction of our consciousness and the direction of our sound healing frequency according to sonar. So it's trying to show us a level of awareness in reality in terms of how we can communicate in terms of our higher 12 senses. So this is a level of the 12 senses that are activating. It's sub-architecture, light matrixy, sophianic, sonic, magnetic plasma. This is what the whales bring in.
Can we connect to this, like, collectively? Let's just work to connect to that visual, and also to the whale graveyards as well. Because what I'm seeing as we're connecting into that space is almost like as soon as the feet touch the ground, I'm seeing like a wave come from under the feet in gold and start to throw all the bricks, the floor patterning brickwork underneath the feet, and turn it to gold. And then as that's occurring, what I'm also seeing is all of this multitonal white to pink, yellow, crystal templating build across the ceiling of this land.
Wow. And you know what I'm getting right now? These are the true Ark of the Covenant codes.
Wow.
What's here is the Ark of the Covenant. It's not what we've been led to believe. That's just coming through. It's not what we've been led to believe in terms of a box, in terms of some alternate metaphysical, physical thing. That the codes are actually an energetic, magnetic, sophianic plasma that is having higher rapid frequency clicks. I'm hearing clicks, and then I'm hearing buzzes. So it's a sound emission. It's a sound tone.
Okay.
The Ark of the Covenant is defined by this click and vibrational sound tone that runs through the land architecture. And it's like the true Ark of the Covenant. I can see the arcs coming into Kauai. I can see the arcs coming into Honolulu. I can see the arcs coming into the volcanic pyramid. It's like there's like pyramids within the volcanoes, and then they're running like these 64 hexagons through them.
Interesting, because I was seeing that when you were talking about the clicks, I was seeing these vibratory cylindrical patterns coming in and starting to build into the walls of the hexagonal templating. What this feels like to me is it's a development of these Lemurian genetics to build back into the body's own code infrastructure. This is what it feels like to me, what it's presenting as well. The further we're going into this, the more I'm seeing this develop as a DNA key code activation.
Yes.
And I'm seeing it develop not just through the physical body, but I'm seeing it develop through the higher dimensional field bodies as well. So it's almost as if like a repatterning and a restructuring to bridge a arcing system between the bodies, between the DNA, between the genetics, to work as a restoring of the channels.
I see it restoring of the channels in the forms of echolocation. Echolocation and also sonar location. It's like we're merging with the whale bodies. And then also, as I see that happening, I'm seeing like lunar female distortions clearing. So maybe this is the Mother's Day gift here. Maybe this is the Mother's Day resurrection. That's just coming through.
That came back
almost
from,
as if, it's almost as if these lunar distortions are reclaiming sovereignty.
Yeah, and I feel like that's so
Wow.
apt, like with the lunar eclipse that happened like 2 weeks ago as well, because that was such a powerful gateway where it was a choice point to allow the feminine to rise, to allow the subconscious to rise and become aware and present. So when we went through that system, it was like the subconscious was then able, I know both me and you were going through a fucking great time there. It was a whole load of fun that weekend was. It's all rising up to the surface to be able to be seen. And this was also a chance to integrate the feminine as the subconscious coming up to match with the conscious, the masculine. Right?
Yeah, I seen a real rising and restoration of balancing of the divine planetary hero Scamos energy.
Yeah.
This is really coming back into a place of restoration.
Yeah.
It's like everything is recognizing the wounding on all full circle. And it's just creating this code of mind and soul and heart complex that's dissolving all pain bodies. All pain bodies on all spheres of the circle, of all directions.
Oh my God. Yeah, I'm like literally feeling so much shift through the body at the moment.
Yeah. So just take that in, everyone. Like, my goodness.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because this is really coming through right now. I kept hearing the words of the age of the Holy Spirit.
It just feels so blissful.
And I seen even what came in earlier with the energies of the Elohai and even the brotherhoods and even Metatron and even Mentaka. It's almost as if the contention around that was also dissolving. And then I got taken to Bakhmut.
Okay.
You want
Do
to
you want to
dive
go
in
over
there?
there? Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's funny because like I did a grid session on Ukraine as well recently. I think it was last month. So yeah, Bakhmut.
Well, this is where the contention of the world is. This is where all of the warfare is going down in terms of Russia. Right?
Yeah,
Am I in the right place?
Yeah, no, you are definitely not in Russia and Ukraine, but yeah.
Ukraine, yeah. This kind of came up from the video that I did with Gene Decode. He kept talking about this location, and so I've been keying in on it.
Oh, I'm getting so much heart pain. Yeah, sorry to interrupt. I'm getting so much heart pain here. Oh my God. Shit.
What are you seeing here?
I'm getting a lot of pain around my heart. It's coming in right into
it's tight. It's tight.
my little man boob there. Oh. Go right in.
I'm getting what I'm initially picking up on is a deep religious battle. This is over religion. At the core of it, it's over religion. And it's covered in all kinds of distortions. It's covered in all kinds of layers. It's covered in all kinds of distraction tactics that are layers upon layers upon layers upon layers upon layers. But at the core of it, it's over religion.
Right. Okay. So what I'm seeing here, and I don't really want to call this in, but we'll just call it Buffy. It's the thing with the horns. I'm seeing this. If you go into whatever, Bakhmut as a place, zoom in there, there is a kind of pentagram structure, not really a pentagram structure, but I saw a pentagram coming through it and going into the city.
Of actual Bakhmut, like go deeper?
Yeah. I was seeing a pentagram just overlaid to this part here where your paddle is. Yeah. So right there, I was seeing a pentagram. And then I just saw that Buffy creature thingy that came forwards. What I'm also picking up here as well is a lot of ritual abuse. I'm picking up a lot of ritual goings on, but under the ground in like a cave system. And there's something about water that's running through the cave systems that it's kind of they're using as a tool to amplify whatever's going on in there, but it's also as a tool to send things out.
Okay.
There is underwater rivers within this region.
I'm getting like there's a Vatican influence here. I'm feeling the Vatican energy come in.
I'm feeling, a complete reversal of like life force here.
Like it's like multiple reversals. So this is like we just entered into an entire like different parallel system. Like we were over in Kauai doing some crazy stuff, and now we're like in a vacuum of reversal. And I'm seeing like the core of all of our global contention. I'm seeing the warfare of Christians. I'm seeing the warfare of Jews. I'm seeing the warfare of Baal worship come in, blood cult practices.
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel this really links into Mariupol as well. That's what I was kind of hearing, which is just further south. It's on the Azov Sea, I think it is. That's just come into my radar, and I'm also being linked into the Azov battalion headquarters, which is just to the west of Mariupol.
Okay.
So the Azov, the Azov battalion, I feel like it's kind of like an infrastructure to put this kind of ideology into place. It's a stronghold, it's an upholding of this kind of anti-life belief system that's running through this network, through this system. I'm actually feeling like really, I want to say overwhelmed. It's not overwhelmed. It's almost like somebody's got their foot on my chest and just pressuring it.
Well, I can only imagine so. I mean, this is where all the war, like this is the combat zone. This is the actual combat zone of what's going on with the Ukraine and Russian war.
Yeah, absolutely. But what I'm also seeing, I'm seeing big missile thingies, but not like, I'm going to say Dukes, D-U-K-E, but you'll know that it's not that. Begins with an N. I don't think we can say that on here. Kind of warfaring. Now that is really interesting because up here in my previous grid session, I didn't go into Bakhmut, but I did go into the Donetsk, which is just, I believe it's further south. And it also connects into Yakutsk in Russia. And that location in Yakutsk was a test site. It's a breeding ground for the creation of these warheads. I'm kind of going a little bit off topic here, but to come back to this location, I'm seeing so much. I feel like this spot here in particular is like the head honcho underground network of the anti-life ritual, the satanic ritual. Yeah, that's what I feel. And I feel like that's why there is so much going on around this location at the moment. Not only that, there is so many, like, I feel there were biolabs around the area, but the main thing is the headquarters.
I'm getting that the Armageddon technology is running here, like the software mind control programs, like war on terrorism, pestilence, cataclysm, fears, everything that's connecting in with bio warfare, mind control programs to suppress, control human consciousness, and just propagating just generated false timelines. It's a psycho-spiritual warfare strategy.
Okay.
And I'm getting that there's military grade alien technology. Also getting, again, I keep going back to religious warfare. I keep seeing like the Russians as these deeply devout Christian mindsets, and I keep seeing the Ukrainians as like a Khazar, Like they're
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
they're these deep Jewish bloodlines.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And so this ongoing divide and conquer is interplaying between, it's like a false, like a, what's it called? What's it called? You have like a false screen
Right.
or like a false,
Yeah, so like a full screen illusion of
yeah,
reality,
but it's
right?
between Zionism and Nazism. Zionism
Mm,
and Nazism. They're
right.
clashing. They're
Okay.
clashing here.
Right. So the Azov would be typical of Nazism.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
I'm getting that these are just blood, these are actual blood sacrifice offerings.
Yeah. So the Khazarian headquarters is what I'm understanding, or Khazar sort of landmarks are within Mariupol as well, which is south by the water. No, I may be wrong about this, but within that Mariupol region, this is where a lot of the kind of if you can go down, go south, further south. Just keep going south until you get to water. There you go,
There we
Mariupol,
go.
there on the left. Yay! Now zoom in on
Yay.
that, zoom in on that area. Right, a little bit further. Right, there is this little location to the right, that port thing. This is where a lot of the children were kept in that location of happenings. And then to the where it says on the left, there is the Azov Yar on the left side, just south. Next one, Azov Yar district.
Here.
This location was where they were kind of running a program to build people into this military mindset through that location. It was like barracks. You can actually zoom in there and oh my God. Yeah,
I'm gonna
you can
actually change the terrain. Hang on. I'm gonna change it to
hybrid.
this is better.
Yeah, so that final little square next to the Azov Yar, go left and up.
Oh, help me, Felix.
That little square there that's next to the Azov Yar.
This like patch of land or this little like square in the
That's the right, go to the left. And
over
then
here?
yeah, that one. Yeah,
Okay.
that was the almost like the barracks, if you will, or like the training ground there. And then just to the right of it, where all of these houses are, this was like the neighborhood of the Azov.
Okay.
And it was just, yeah, it was real horrific in that location. But yeah, it's all very much tied in. But what I'm also being pinged to now is where is that country that Borat was filmed? Was it like Uzbekistan or something like that, or Kazakhstan?
Kazakhstan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that place was where all the Masonic templating really sits. And I think if you just maybe DuckDuckGo it, you can find information on the Masonic templating, the building, the headquarters of the New World Order was there as well.
I think all of this is really connected to the dominance of Palestine and the forces behind the creation of Israel.
Yeah.
So this is why it's so much contention, right? At the end of the day.
Yeah, absolutely. And what I'm also thinking as well with that, my mind's just gone blank. The feel like it's right, that was it. The language that was spoken through these different regions, they all speak Russian. So there's all some kind of like unified language network that's kind of running through there. Maybe that's just a kind of like a shot in the dark, but I feel like there's something within that as well. Right.
I keep getting like, okay, I just keep getting all of this goes back to the Vatican. All of this goes back to the Knights of Malta. All of this goes back to Switzerland, to the financial corporations and the World Economic Forum.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you can see all of these things. It's just a transfer of wealth, isn't it? Even on the
Yeah,
coronation, you look at the
yeah.
carpet on the coronation, it was yellow and blue. It was the colors of Ukraine on
Was
the,
it?
yeah,
Was
it
it?
really was. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, we need to extract these
Yeah.
hedonistic King of Tyranny implants out of this land.
Yeah, absolutely. It was
Wow.
definitely something. Um,
Wow.
so yeah. So all of these things you'll notice with all of these different color palettes that they
So the
use.
Sea of Azov here is really important.
Mm,
This must be the waters that need restoration, that need total recalibration and assistance in terms of the the mother codes are just not alive here.
Well, what I'm seeing as well with this Sea of Azov is a big meteorite coming in and hitting the center point of it. You can see like this tiny little stream as the meteorite would get bigger and hit right in the center of the sea. So I don't know if that's kind of something, whether that actually happened to create this sea or region. I just saw the meteorite coming in.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that could be a connection to kind of why they are drawing resources from this location.
And feeding off the Black Sea as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm.
Well, it's like we were called to do this for some reason. I feel like, I'm sorry, my mouse is really crazy. It's still the same. I'm still having the same problems, even though I have adjusted the setting.
No,
Felix,
Felix,
I feel
they
like,
didn't work.
can
Yeah.
you guide some form of recalibration from Kauai to the Black Sea?
Okay.
Or do you feel like you have that in you?
Probably.
Do you have that in you?
Well, we'll just have to wait and see, won't we? So Kauai to the Black Sea.
Yeah.
What I'm seeing coming in at the moment is all of these emerald spheres. They're coming in on a diagonal vortex of the feminine ancestral line, and they're going down and aligning into the sea. And with each one coming in, creating an arcing system that runs it runs to the right, actually. That's very interesting. So it's not as if it's going over the Atlantic Ocean, it's going directly through over China to the Pacific Ocean.
Mm.
And what I can see are through the Pacific Ocean are the mer people coming forwards here. I'm seeing a collection of mer people, and they're creating a formation of a diamond, and I can hear them sing. At the same time that's happening, I'm seeing a moose head, a moose head with the big antlers coming up. And the antlers are creating some kind of electrical charge, like a white diamond plasma sphere that's connecting through into the diamond formation of the mer people.
And I do feel that the mer people are coming through. I've been seeing them relentlessly over the last 5 days that they've been coming up and coming through.
Yeah.
It's like the inner child of the oceanic principles, the playfulness, the restoration of the innocence, the restoration of the merging of water and land consciousness coming into unification. And bridging the powers of the beings of the oceanic healing principles to the land as well. It's like they're the ones that can merge that healing principle from sea to land.
What's the Laniakea?
Laniakea is the outer realm, inner and outer realm of our totality of our colossal universal celestial cosmic multiverse system. It's beyond. It's
Okay,
beyond.
well, I'm hearing the words Laniakea and I'm seeing streams of consciousness coming down and up through this diamond formation, in through the moose's head and into the sphere of light that's coming through this. And as it comes in, I'm seeing golden bridges being built across the landmass through this emerald arcing systems. I'm getting incredibly hot and I'm feeling the body pivot as well. Reorientation phase shift. Okay, and I'm just feeling more of this Laniakeic energy opening through gate systems and doorways opening, which is then being able to spread through. I mean, this is something I've never experienced before. This is very, very expansive.
We're opening up new gate systems for sure. I can feel like a flooding of icosahedrons through the waters.
Yeah, it's a complete reconstruction to the land mass. What I'm seeing it penetrating into is the underbelly of the water. It's connecting into the actual where the sand would be at the base of the ocean. If that's the right term to use, but I'm getting very strong heart palpitations here too, and I'm feeling the whole left side of the body open and expand. The underbelly of the Ukrainian region is now expanding and opening and flipping the tiles, so to speak, from black to white.
Okay. And yeah, and as you say that, I can see a collapsing down of the scatter radiation templates, a collapsing down of the King of Tyranny templates, a collapsing down of the black magic, and also the just artificial matrices, artificial intelligent matrices. Also this dictatorialship, it's like even beyond the King of Tyranny. It's like a dictatorial hierarchy pursuit of power and control. And that is,
yeah, sorry, go on.
Yeah, and I can just see that like disengaging and dissolving in places and where it's hooked in terms of the militarization and also the secret space programs.
I'm seeing this run, these tiles turning over from black to white. What I feel that would be like a kind of deletion of negative territorial. And I'm also seeing this run into the architecture and collapse out anti-life architectural structures. I'm also tuning into, or what I perceive to be, a negative blueprint, or like a reversal blueprint.
I see that going into China.
I've just had my ears make a very funny noise, but it wasn't from my ears, it was through the speakerphones that I've got on my head, the headphones. Learn to speak, Felix.
China mice are coming through.
Yeah, there we go. My God. My whole body's like releasing with this.
It's just like, it's like I'm getting egos, a lot of egoic, it's like an egoic realm, an egoic parallel timeline of the 3D matrix that is like a heightened version of a reality that exists between 3 and 4D. And it's like the power of the egos. It's the power of the thrust of testosterone. It's the power of, it's creating like a network of accelerative masculine energy that is excited off of power. It's excited off of warfare.
This reversal blueprint, this anti-life blueprint structure that they're showing me is being really affected by this flipping of the tiles. And as I'm watching this connect in, I'm seeing a golden fountain coming up through the center of the blueprint and then just start to wash the seediness, wash the corruption, and wash the defects. How that works, I have no idea, but well, I think I do. I think I understand it because it's an intended correction with the collective that we're working with today. And also I feel this connects into the people of Ukraine who are caught up in the mess that they didn't wish to participate within. I feel like there's multiple sublogos connections that are joining and wishing to correct this reversal. And that's why I'm seeing all of this combined intention to actually finally lift and release this. I'm getting so much pain over the heart here. Which is washing through this.
I feel like we need to call in and anchor in like more universal resources.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting cosmic law. Yeah, I'm just getting cosmic law coming in, and I'm getting the Andromedan system.
Okay.
I'm also getting Cygnus and Sirius.
Okay.
And that we have to open the portals and the gateways to these systems, particularly through like a tone.
I was just about to say that. I could just hear like a oh.
Yeah. Like a like almost like a whale tone.
Yeah, we need Noko on here.
We do need Noko. Where is Noko when we need her?
Absolutely, yeah. Sing some signs, Noko. We need to. Kiras mataponia mora asunya tumnai ma kirasni shiatarasme atura ataya. Kirasni amna agiokura autobusk mimonia aha kirasne sa atirasna ataponia monia rasne atapolia torasno atapolia torto oyetia yanai. Mukirasna ataponia torasni ishia o hia on I mos mo okipona ahayatresne sia. Can you tone?
There's definitely more releasing here that needs to happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Are you able to tone?
I'm not the best toner publicly. I'm not gonna lie.
Is that only when you're in the shower?
When I'm in the shower. Exactly. Or when I'm personally in meditation. But yeah. I feel resistant to doing that just a little bit.
Ja, teraz na to ponia muhura. Osia kuras na ativianai na hirashmisia tonoi muura tianya nya mo muyuru yotoros no utponia moa. Okiras monia nano yatras mia momoya. Tokiram nai. Right, I've just seen aquamarine to peacock tones of blue to green open as a doorway, and also a violet door as well.
As you said that, I just seen the doors to the Temple Mount opening up. Really?
That's interesting. That's the Aurora network, right?
It also feels like a deep brotherhood of patriarchal domination and control. Like the doorways.
Yay!
Yeah, well, yeah, for sure. But it feels like the doorways just opened in a rectangular form.
Okay.
And it's allowing like this moaning out of the doors.
Okay.
It's like a deep masculine moan. Like
Go on. I've done it now, you've got to do it.
Like ooh, like they're humming out of it's like in a masculine expression. Yeah, like a they're coming out of the doors.
Interesting. Yeah, I hear that as well. But what I'm also feeling and picking up on here is really, really dense masculine wounding coming out to release from the earth mass of the Temple Mount. And I'm getting so much electricity, like really heavy mental distortion, like a whole mental illness field, if you will, collapsing with that as well. And I'm getting
I feel as if we're taking something on right now that is really beyond us. I feel as if we need like a tribal round of 12. Like, honestly, what's coming in is so powerful that we need more assistance.
Okay, can we connect into the Bimini Islands here? Because this is where I saw the true, or one of the templates of the true Israel templates coming through. So this would be where the turtle templating was kind of connected in, but it's the vertical, horizontal, diagonal axes, the 12 tribes of Israel popped up through this location for me. And this was where it
Wow,
also
okay.
connected into the tribal body. And this is also an access point of the pillar of communication to the extraterrestrial off-planet communications or through this spot.
Do you have a specific island you want me to go into?
Yeah, just go up to the Bimini Islands. If you just type it into the thing there, Bimini. Bimini Islands.
Now, I do know that
Just pull out of that. Yeah, it's within this spearhead. Right, so that whole spearhead is what we need. That's where I felt it come through.
okay.
Oh, I'm getting such kidney pain. Oh my God. As soon as we went there.
Okay. Yeah, I can feel that too,
It's
actually.
that left kidney. Oh my God. It was all through the right hip, the left kidney, and it's going down my left leg as well. Left hip, left kidney, left leg.
I'm also getting the Fountain of Youth.
Yeah, absolutely. I saw a grail, a golden grail of knowledge surfacing through this location. So yeah, the Fountain of Youth was coming through this wealth of knowledge, and this was an access point to anchor in these codes from the Aurora network. And this is why I feel it's been so colonized, it's been placed in slavery, and there were chains that connect this island into DC as well.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm getting more trafficking.
Yeah.
More child trafficking, more human trafficking, more discrete political deals.
Yeah. So this place, not only does it have the pillar of communication to the celestial body, to the Aurora network, but there's also an artificial man-made structure that does the same, but to darker entities as well. So it's like they're utilizing somewhere that is quite sacred to run a reversal network through it and to build upon the high vibrational land.
So this one I'm also getting is connecting into Florida.
Yeah.
And also locations in the what is it called?
I don't know.
Disney.
Orlando,
Disney,
okay.
Disney portals. There's Disney portals.
Right, okay.
Orlando portals.
Is this on the same line as Sarasota Stargate?
It is not. It is
No, Sarasota. Where's
it's
Sarasota?
equative to Miami.
Okay.
But Sarasota would be
It's there, right?
here.
I'm pointing at the screen that you can see what I'm doing, but okay. Yeah, I feel what we can do is connect this turtle shell templating and build that into the lattice, build that into the 12 tribes of Israel template, which is your vertical, horizontal, diagonal pivot point. of your holographic body. Body es mosmi agora. But then also connect that into this, or whatever we were saying before, which was connecting into the Temple Mount. We can arc that, or maybe build that in somehow. I just need to kind of have a look at this and see. Because what I'm seeing, interesting. Okay, what I'm seeing is this location in the Temple Mount and the Bimini is bridging an overarch, but also an underarching system as well. So it's almost creating like a DNA pattern as I'm looking at it, is what I'm kind of seeing, or a sine wave. So it's going, one's going up and the other one's coming down.
Okay.
Creating a loop system through these nodal points. Does that make sense?
It's almost as if I feel like we're connecting a lot, like everything is interconnected, but I feel like we're connecting a lot of different templatings that are holding different energies, but they're all connecting through certain parallel timelines or certain different ley lines and realities, but not all of those realities are necessarily connecting. It's just certain like pain points or trigger points or what has opened up in terms of the grids to allow those to flow freely. But not everything is ultimately interconnected, but certain aspects of it are.
Right. So what I also feel with that as well is you're bang on with that, and it's just kind of opened up my understanding of this. It is to build and construct the templating of the memory. It's to build the genetic coding and to restore that not only on an individual level, but also through that hexagonal thing that we saw at the start, is to build that back into the biogenetics of.
And that's what I feel is actually being held in DC.
The organism. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, do you know what? I just saw that was
because honestly, everything that I've tuned into in terms of the architecture of Washington, DC is hexagonal. Everything.
Yeah.
Every freaking thing, Felix.
Even there, look at DuPont Circle. There's a little 6-pointed star going through there.
This is all hexagonal geometry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Every single one, every single corner, every single point.
What are they trying to tell us, Indy?
666. No, it's the original hexagon honeycomb structural matrix. So what I'm feeling like is this entire land mass is a portal to the hive.
Yeah.
This is a portal to the hive. So it's radiating and communicating through the Tiamat and the original flower of life structures. So either they've hijacked and encoded the original flower of life structures, or they're just tapping right into the resources and using it. So I mean, another form of hijacking technically, but yeah, it's infiltrating those ley lines and utilizing the power of this portal as a a communication system of nefarious networks. Essentially, right, I think that is branching down to what is going on the Bimini Islands, and then also ultimately into Hawaii. But what I think is necessary is to clear the gate systems of Hawaii and allow the true, pure healing essence and energy of those systems to come through and actually clear what is going on in DC. And also in Bakhmut.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm getting.
Yeah. Okay. It's interesting.
It's a massive network system of random locations according to maybe longitude and latitude, because it's like when you look at the numbers, it's like, how do they align up? But when you look at the meaning and the deeper resolution of what these things are, they are interconnected, and they are riding the severity of detrimental, nefarious hijacking according to the timeline system. So this is kind of like the network that connects the degradation of Kauai, Hawaii, from the original Ionian massacres to the fall of Atlantis, ultimately to the degradation of the Aryan systems and corruptions of the Draco seals, and then ultimately into the New Age political systems, which follows the obelisk networks as well, through Vatican to London to DC.
Yeah,
which
absolutely.
is Vatican, London, DC is the 3-system network in which all of the nefarious and corrupted political governmental agendas ultimately network. So we did Rome. Now we're going to DC. So after this, we might need to go to London.
Yay! Come to my world, my end of the woods.
Who's ready to go to London with us? Let's go.
Absolutely. Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. So that's what I just want to say to everyone watching. Like, I feel like people hold reservation in terms of these missions. Like, they look at it like
it's terrifying.
it is terrifying, right? But
yeah,
it's like, how far are you in your level of mastery in terms of your mission, in terms of your spiritual belief, in terms of your knowing, in terms of making a difference? Because this is what we have to make a difference. It's to go in there and be spiritual activists. That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. It's spiritual activism. Yeah. And it's done in a positive way, but it's also, directing those nefarious energies and calling out to them specifically to collapse them down. There's not a lot of people on this earth doing that. Who do you know that's doing that? Who do you know that's doing that?
I think there's some undercover ones.
Some groups. There's a few groups. I know there's a few groups, but there's not a lot.
I think the thing is as well, I don't tend to go and scope out who else is doing it because for myself, I'm normally like nose deep in a map or on foot doing it. So I don't really have the time to kind of, or I do, I suppose, but I don't look at it because I'm kind of invested in what I'm doing.
But we kind of have to look at who else is doing it, because at some point these networks can actually even merge together. I
was just about to say that. I think that would be really, really amazing if we could potentially do that. To get people coming together, that would be wonderful. And then the more we go in our tribes, there's literally nothing that can stop us, really, isn't there? So
I feel like me and you came to a plateau today in this live, like in this session. Like it's because we're realizing that there's more energy work. Yeah,
so much more, right?
There's more here.
Yeah,
there's
absolutely.
more. This is like there's more here that we have to research. There's more here that we have to pull together in terms of energy to like work on this. I'm feeling a little bit of the resistance in terms of the artificial templating that's coming in. I'm feeling that come in. Are you feeling that come in?
I'm feeling a lot of the artificial stuff. I'm also feeling a lot of distortion that's coming in as well. That's kind of bringing in that exhaustion and the need to recluse. But yeah, it's also kind of like affecting my mind a little bit to kind of go into something and then like be dulled down. Which I know it's just coming and going. But yeah, and we've also gone for about nearly 2 hours as well.
Okay. Well, that's the thing. Yeah. Well, we have to reconvene and kind of go over everything that we need to look at.
Yeah. So good. We did well. I enjoyed that today.
All right. Well, I just want to say thank you to everybody watching. Let me go back to the live stream really quick, if you don't mind me sharing that. Let's see what we got going on in the chat.
I feel we should seal up before we close out as well, and just
definitely
finish up that way.
Noko had replied, by the way, to our international Gridwork friends, the U.S. restriction around forcing the Jews to get into the U.S. has been lifted. 512, woohoo! Guardian Rescue Team. Yeah, because we do have some friends coming in from overseas as well to do this DC mission.
Nice.
What about the Ireland Black Cube? You were just in Ireland.
I was in Ireland, yeah. Oh my God, that was a massive density lock release, but also the Tuatha Dé Danann came in and worked with the true Stone of Destiny consciousness. This is very interesting to me because I wasn't really fully aware of any of this story before. And then when I actually got there, I merged with them, and then they brought in all of this information, this like stone consciousness as well, the Stone of Destiny consciousness. And that one of the locations we went to was the Hill of Tara, and that was restored from there, which was very interesting because apparently, like in the coronation, the king is meant to sit on the Stone of Destiny, which I just don't feel it was actualized. I don't feel like it was present within that. And you will notice within his video how pissed off he is in the whole time he's there. So something went down prior to that Grim Reaper appearance. Something went down in that place which completely knocked him into a state of misery. What that is, I think I've got a good idea, but I'm not going to share it right now. Yeah. So that was quite interesting to see how that kind of came about as well. Not saying that it has anything to do with the Stone of Destiny or things like that. I think it was out of the public's eye, but yeah. And the whole thing with Ireland, a lot of it was about freeing the elemental bodies from multiple layers of black magic grids that were put in place and harvesting from this standpoint. Building back the dragon body was so vital and so important. In multiple different locations, holographic dragons appeared in the sky and on these different sacred sites. One was in Galway. One was, and that was related to the womb. That was a big pink dragon that had a repair needing. One was in the Hill of Tara, which was an emerald one. One was yellow, and that was over Company's House in Dublin, which is where the major density seal lock was running, connecting into the Parliament building, which had a huge holographic upside down pentagram as situated on the gate of the Parliament building, which then became angry and alive as you walk past it, and hostile. And then the final one was in Nouth, which was a Neolithic branded as a death burial ground, but in actual fact it was not. It was quite the opposite. It was like a kind of place where rituals and magic would take place. It was really amazing, but then they do also have burials within that as well. So yeah, well they do now. So it was really amazing. It was a wonderful trip. And then going into Inishmore as well. I know you've talked a lot about Inishmore. That place was so barren. It was actually insane. The soul shard of Atlantis being completely harvested through this wormhole. I felt it. I was there. There was no life on the island. It was very, very limited. It was a lovely island, don't get me wrong, but very little crops were able to grow on this land, which was incredible to see. The land itself, in the pissing rain, was dry and sparse, and there were cracks in the earth. So that, to think of, is quite amazing. And that was connected into a wormhole system that runs through the center of the Atlantic Ocean, also connecting as the left ventricle through the Bermuda Triangle. Bermuda location was connected in through the center of the Atlantic Ocean, which then ran down into the mantle as a metal kind of reversal, harvesting the energetics of Bermuda and Atlantis through this location. So yeah, I've done one of those gridwork sessions. They're on my website as well, on the Gridworker training tab. You can find that on my website, www.felixhyde.com. And it's all free to kind of go through and join in on as well if you wish to do so. We've got the next one on Thursday, which is all about Scotland.
Okay.
Yeah. Making our way around the Isles.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's such important work. I mean, especially everything going on in Ireland and the UK. I mean, it's obviously a very targeted location in terms of the nefarious forces and what's trying to play upon the masculine misery sexual implants and feminine as well, right?
Oh my God, yeah.
Targeting those specifically.
Yeah, big time. Oh my God. It really, really is. There's so much shame as well that's kept on being refed through people through this kind of Catholic lineage.
Yes.
It's so deep. But it's just a case of kind of breaking free
It
from.
feels like it's a rescue mission for us.
Yeah, I mean, it
Rescue
really
mission.
is. And the purification of the sacral chakra, the purification of the sexual energies is a big, big leap and step in your a spiritual journey, in your ascension pathway, because it really does open you up to a whole new level. I'm kind of going through that at
Is
the
this
moment.
a mattress next to you on the right side here, Felix? Is that
It
a
is
mattress? Okay.
That is a mattress. There's another mattress on the actual bed, but this is the old mattress.
Okay.
So
Are you reorganizing the room?
I am currently at my partner's house, so we
Okay.
are sort of reorganizing at the moment.
Okay.
But yeah, no, there's a mattress next door as
Okay.
well.
Well, okay, awesome.
We're gonna wrap it up on the mattress, are we?
Wrap it up on the mattress. Yeah. Hey, but that's all right. You know what? That's okay. My room is under construction as well. Obviously my video camera is not working so good right now, so I have things I have to work on my end, but yeah, no, this was amazing. I think we kind of revealed a lot in terms of introspection, interdimensional grid perspective in terms of current events, at least some current, some not so current, but we're tying in the timelines together. And so I think that's what is really important ultimately, is for us to restore things at a quantum and at a fractal level in terms of the grid work. So that's what we'll continue to work forward towards in terms of the grid work and the Washington, D.C. event. So if anyone feels called to come and join us, message us at info@indigoangel222.com so we can get you the information. And essentially, yeah. So Felix, thank you so much for coming on today. Your grid insight is always amazing. You're going to be present with us in DC. So
absolutely,
yeah, come meet both of us. Ultimately, that's what you're going to be. You're going to come meet us. You're going to come meet Noko. Noko is going to do a live performance, actually.
Yeah.
So it's really going to be some next level stuff. It's going to be really exciting. I cannot wait to share this with the world and to document this. I've also been talking with Laura Eisenhower, so who knows?
Yeah, that'll be
what's going to come
awesome.
together by June. I have to tell you, yeah, feels like things are really configuring to bring forth some magical things. So I'm so excited. And yeah, so yeah, Felix, thank you so much for coming on today. And thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for watching. And we'll be tuning in next time. Felix, we're going to do a show on the, we talked about doing a show on what's going on with the satanic human people cake making and
right. Yeah. Okay. What date is that one on? I need to.
I don't know when we're gonna. We need to agree on a date to do this. But essentially, we're gonna do a show on this. Right? We're gonna go in deeper into what's going on with that.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about it when we get done with the show. But we're gonna have another one coming up soon with me and Felix. So
yeah, thank you so much. It's been so much fun. Thank you, everyone, for.
All right, everyone. Thank you for watching. Namaste. Take care. We love you all so much.
Love, love, love. Mwah.
Are we still on?
We are still on.
I ended the stream. Okay. Yeah. So I'm thinking. Look at my.
Can you press stop record, or is it still recording?
It just says live streaming, but honestly, I hit the end of stream, so I'm not sure.
Okay.
No, I can't record. It's not recording.
Okay. It does say live though. Maybe